I don't use Instagram anymore, and the reason is my fault. In high school, I started modeling. I had to tie up with lots of media pages and brands to update my experience in the field. For that, I uploaded almost every other day. But to avoid any negative attention and creepy comments, I tried to keep a low profile. I never posted any explicit photos because almost everyone in my family followed me on Instagram. One day I was going through comments on a recent picture I uploaded. I was casually scrolling when one comment caught my eye. It was from a profile named Your Wish My Command. I kind of liked the name, but the comment was a bit odd. It read, "Whenever you need help, being famous is competitive these days." I opened the profile to do further research and saw pictures of gothic art. Most of his contents were based on voodoo rituals, witchcraft, and occults. But people try to gain attention in every way possible these days, so I ignored it. A few weeks later, my uncle came to visit with his daughter. I was close to my cousin until she went to college and got into modeling too. She got aloof from me, and once I started modeling, her jealousy went to another level. Let's call her Jill. So Jill came to stay with us for a while. My father and my uncle were planning to sell our family home, hence they needed to work together to prepare the papers and other official necessities. My mom kind of forced me to share my room with Jill, because the guest room was given to my uncle. She wanted to be a bitch, but chose not to. Probably she couldn't gather the courage to tease me while staying under my dad's roof. Anyways, we both had to click pictures for our profiles and upload them, so there were times when Jill and I both used to dress up and stand in front of the mirror to get a nice click. Things were going fine until one day I crossed 10,000 followers, while Jill remained at 5,000. Needless to say, she followed my account. She was pissed off the entire day and didn't say a single word to me. I didn't bother much. I was making a video thanking my followers for their support and love when Jill walked into the room with a glass of orange juice and intentionally spilt it on me. It took a fraction of a second for a huge brawl to take place. I screamed at her, calling a jealous bitch, and she called me a slutbag. Our parents stepped in to stop our fight, and I stormed out of the house in anger. I went to the local park and sat on a corner bench. I was feeling very angry, and suddenly, I remembered about that weird account in Instagram. Your Wish, My Command. I sent him a text. "Hi." I got an immediate response. "Well, hello there. Can you help me?" "Depends on what kind of help you need." Can you hack into an account and remove it, like, forever?" "Haha, I can do so much more than that. What is the name of the account?" "Jill Craig _1 and only. I'll need the phone number for that, and her email." I know what I was going to do wasn't only wrong, but a criminal offense, but I did it anyhow. I was out of my mind, no doubt. I gave him my cousin's phone number and email ID. Just after that, Your Wish, My Command blocked me, and I realized this guy was just messing with me. Although I was calmed down by then, I told myself. I returned home and my uncle made Jill apologize to me. Eventually, I apologized too, and the matter got sorted out that night. But it was always in the back of my mind that I have indeed shared her phone number and email to God knows who. I wanted to tell her, but I knew she will play the victim, bringing out the previous fight, and I will be in huge trouble for doing what I did. Few days went by and I almost forgot about the account, when I suddenly overheard a phone conversation between Jill and her boyfriend one night. She was saying, "Yeah, I've reported this account, but every time I block it, someone reopens it with the same username and drops creepy messages. I'm telling you, it's the same guy with the name Your Wish, My Command." As soon as I heard that, my hands turned cold in fear. Shit, I have appointed a stalker on my own cousin. I could see the tension on Jill's face, but still kept quiet. I was making mistakes after mistakes just to keep out of trouble, but that only led to more trouble in the upcoming future. It was a Saturday night. Jill and I went clubbing with some of our common friends. We were partying really hard and I got pretty drunk. What happened next is a combined memory of fragments, but overall, it was like this, and it was terrifying. I was sitting at the bar and Jill was dancing in the crowd. I could see her jumping and tossing her hair here and there, when suddenly I saw a man dressed in a robe-like thing standing behind her. I mean, I was intoxicated, but trust me, I didn't hallucinate that. For a moment, the entire club shifted to a slow-motion movie scene, where everyone is dancing on the floor, except the man dressed in a creepy black robe. He noticed me seeing him, and he lifted one arm to wave at me. At the time, he whispered something to Jill's ear, and she started to follow him like stupid. She was drunk too. I got up because I knew that man had bad intentions, but there were crazy party animals everywhere. By the time I reached the exit, I saw Jill being abducted by two men. They grabbed her and forced her into the back seat of the car. The man in the robe stood near the car and waved me goodbye before hopping into it. The car then drove away at full speed, and I collapsed on the floor crying for help. My friends came out and they called 911 hearing what happened. By the time the cops reached, the car was gone, and so was my cousin. I received a text after 15 minutes. It read, "Wish granted. Target destroyed." I freaked out and told everything to the cops in the presence of my parents and uncle. After a tedious search of one long week, the cops finally found Jill unconscious near a roadside dumpster. She was beaten badly and can't remember a thing that happened to her or where she was taken by those mysterious men. The cops left no stones unturned to search for those men, and I gave them every detail I could. Finally, they caught them, and it came out to be a group of kidnappers who are also associated with women trafficking. Jill hadn't been physically assaulted, but her wounds are enough to make me live a life full of guilt and despair. My uncle has cut all ties with us, and my parents don't see me the way they used to earlier. I'm now just a jealous bitch who shoved her cousin into a terrible fate out of anger. I hope those guys rot in jail forever, so that they can't hurt anyone anymore. For me, I will spend the rest of my life in culpability and solitude.